this garage door opener, or your garage door itself, or your phone. So if you actually pull out your phone, and you can look up the FCC ID, and you can learn all about what your phone transmits on. It's actually very cool. And inside of there, we'll see a few things. So the first thing we see is often you'll see pictures of the actual device, both the outside on the left here and the inside. So you'll actually see inside of that circuit. This is really cool if you're trying to look up information on, say, a device that you don't necessarily have access to, or a device that might be out of your price range, or a device that's not released yet, right? Something that's coming out. You can actually go here and you can learn a ton of information. You could probably produce, you can probably discover vulnerabilities or issues with the device before it even comes out. It's pretty incredible. So here's an example of actually my garage door or door opener. I looked it up, and the first thing we see here is we see kind of like where it came from. It came from China, obviously. And you also see the range here, the frequency range. So this is the frequency that it communicates on. And on this one, it says the lower frequency is 390 megahertz and the upper is 390 megahertz. So that means this communicates on one frequency, 390 megahertz, which is pretty cool. So what else we see on the FCC? We see stuff like they have a cover letter, always a nice little formal letter they write. External photos like we saw, internal photos, a couple different things. One of the more interesting areas is the test report. So what the FCC does is they hire someone to come out and actually test your device, because the thing with frequencies is we're essentially sharing the spectrum. Like, you don't want a device to just constantly transmit out and prevent other devices from working. For example, if I just held this garage door thing, if this were just transmitting all the time, it may prevent other garage door openers from working. And you wouldn't want to interfere with, say, someone across the street. So they do all these tests to ensure that it transmits on the frequencies it's allowed to, not more powerful than it should, so on and so forth. So if we pull this up, we can see like the internal report. We can actually often see a spectrograph of actually recording of that, of the radio signal transmitted by the device. And there are some different devices I use to actually listen to this kind of stuff. One of the devices is really cool. It's HackRF. It's